What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Adobe Live and getting started with Adobe XD with your favorite host, of course, Brandon Groce. How are you guys doing? Let us know in the chat. I'm super excited about what we have today, guys. I don't think you guys are ready. I don't think you guys are ready for what we have for today. We are going to be creating from scratch a iOS mobile gaming platform, and I'm beyond excited for that. So before we get started and we let you guys know what is going to be happening for the rest of Adobe Live today, don't forget to like this video. Let us know in the chat how excited you are, where you guys are coming from, or what time it is. Guys, so with that said, let us move into today's schedule. So far, what we have today is obviously me getting started with Adobe XD. We have 7:30 a.m. PT. Some parts of the world, it is early, beyond early. We have Jesus getting into Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. Delicious. Next, at 9:30 a.m. PT, we have photo editing with Carmen Chan. At 11:30 a.m. PT, we have Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge with our guy, Paul Traney. 12 p.m. PT, we have editorial design with Mercedes. You know that's going to be good. And at 2 p.m. PT, we have XD Daily Creative Challenge with Andrea. At 2:30 p.m. we have Draw Along with Kyle T. Webster. And to close it off, as always, we have our girl Voodoo Val with Anna on Design Off. So, with that said, I'm gonna check in the chat. Tim, how you doing? Andreas, how you doing? Sean, Omar, glad to see. Guys, give us a few. Hold up. All right, cool. We're back. We're back. Thank you, Tim. All right, guys. A little rough, but the rest of the stream is going to be absolutely amazing. Everything looks good on my end. We have green. All right, cool. So thank you guys for your patience there. Doesn't matter. We're nice, clean. We just had to do a little bit of a refresh, but we're good. So like I was saying, what we have today, we are going to be creating this app called Game Time, where we legitimately are going to be creating for today. What we're going to be focusing on today is building this bad boy from scratch, from the login screen, new users, both login and sign up, in addition to what the feed is going to look like. And don't worry, there's a lot of empty imagery here. We're going to be focusing on how easily it is to fill all this stuff in Adobe XD with very little time. We're going to focus on creating the menu as well as a news piece of this application. So with that said, let's get started. So first off, a lot of the stuff we're going to be going over today is not only a lot of the new features in Adobe XD, but also I love using the assets panel and getting stuff prepared ahead of time, especially if you work with a team. This is important for you guys to know as well. So I'm going to get started here by just I'm going to press A on my keyboard. I'm going to go to and grab an iPhone 10 screen just like this, and I'm going to get started. Yeah, guys, if you guys are still having problems with the stream, just refresh. Everything should still be good and dandy. We're all a-okay. Let me know if there's any more issues on that end. Okay, so what we're gonna do first is we are gonna start from scratch here. Very simply, I'm just gonna press R on my keyboard, and I just wanna create a nice square here, or really a rectangle. I'm gonna fill it in the back here, just like this. And I'm gonna get in our background colors here. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select our background here, or our rectangle. I'm gonna go into the fill portion here. I'm gonna go to linear gradient, and as you guys can see, I already have some colors saved. This is why, it's just so easy, especially if you're constantly working from reference or you already have your color swatches selected. It's super easy to continue to use colors you've used in the past. So I'm just gonna select my my yellow and my reddish orange, and I'm just gonna leave it like that. So we already have our first portion here. Now I'm not gonna recreate things like my logo and the title and all that. I'm gonna show you guys how exactly I like to do this. Well, if these are assets I already have, I can just pull them in from the assets panel. All right, I'm glad to see that you guys are very nice and good. There's no streaming problem. So I'm just gonna go and grab, let's see, I'm gonna go into my panels here and I'm gonna grab my game time logo, and I'm going to grab my main logo right here. Boom. So now I have very easily, if I'm working with assets, I'm working with a client who already has assets, I just easily put them in my assets panel, create components out of them, and use them throughout all my projects associated with that client. Hey, what's going on, Laura? Welcome back to the chat. Glad to see you here. So I have 1, 2. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and grab my icons. Now, again, one thing I'm gonna share with you guys that I absolutely love about XD is, regardless if you have icons or not, I'm gonna show you guys how I made these. But before that, you guys can easily, when it comes to plugins, I love using, I say this every time. I love using icons for design because I don't have to leave Adobe XD to grab any icons that I need. I can type in key and I get a whole bunch of key icons right within Adobe XD. I don't have to leave. And the best thing here is that they're actually SVGs. So I can come in here, I can change the color, etc. The big downfall of using PNGs in programs like this is you can't edit the color. So that's what I like doing here. I like to keep everything customizable. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go ahead and grab, hey, what's going on, Jay? Welcome to the chat. How you doing? Glad to see you here. I'm gonna go ahead and grab these two. I'm gonna go ahead and start typing out our login and sign up, just like this. And now one thing that I really like to do, for example, if let's say I'm working with, let's say I'm working with a client, right? And they have very specific, rules when it comes to their fonts, etc. I can easily have just what I have here in character styles. I love to keep all of my font styles, etc. in here. So I can just click this or this. Now, granted, that was the wrong one, but I can change this to, they save the styles of whatever thing that I'm editing. So if I click on this font piece here or this type, I can right click it and click reveal character style in assets. Granted, I'm already using a character style from my assets panel. So if I click this, it will show me exactly the style that I have. But for example, let's say I just type something out and I right click it, add character style to assets. If I do that, it will actually create a character style in that color and size and font in my assets panel, which is awesome. And Jay, hey, welcome Jay, hey Mickey, Abdul, glad to have you in the chat. Good to see you guys. All right, so let's continue. Let's move past this first page. So this is pretty simple. I'm gonna click my login. I'm gonna go to my login and sign up small button. There we go. I'm just gonna capitalize my login here. And I'm just gonna line everything up. You guys feel me? Boom, and boom. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm just going to push this up just a little bit. And I'm gonna group these two. 1, 2, holding Control and G. So now what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna group these two, and I'm going to center them to my screen, just like this. Hey, what's going on, Kyle? Good to have you. All right, so now let's just take a quick peek of where we're at. All I need is a divider and this nice little iOS slide up thing. And that's it, we're good for that screen. And if you guys have any questions, I know a lot of this, there's quite a few different people in the chat. So if you guys have any questions at any time, feel free to pause, drop a comment in the chat, and we will discuss a little bit deeper what I'm doing. Cool? If you guys are down with that, put one in the chat. All right, so we just need a little divider. It's pretty simple. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw a line, just like this down the center. I'm gonna make it white, and I'm going to make the width 2, just like this. Oops. Actually, hold on one second, guys. Dun, dun, dun. Actually, you know what? I think it's fine there. We're gonna just bring this down to about 30 opacity, and we're gonna make it smaller just a little bit. Now, the reason that I want to make it, this is what I was looking for, 2. There we go. We are going to center this, and the reason I want to have it opaque is because I still want that color from the background. Now, the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab, I have it in my components panel here. Hey, excellent, good to see you here as well, Jay. Yes, Tim, this is where the cool kids hang out. All right, so all I really did here with this, I pulled my little iPhone asset because this is something I just had from an iOS UI kit. No need to recreate this. And I'm just going to pull this, make sure it's center, make sure my grids are there, and I'm gonna make sure that it's around 13 pixels from the bottom. And there we go. This is literally page 1. All right, so all I'm gonna do is duplicate this just to save time. I held Alt and dragged it on over. All we need to do now, just gonna go over for reference, we're gonna make this logo a little bit smaller. We're gonna add our title, and we're gonna get some input fields, forgot password, login button, as well as some socials, and we'll start from there. Pretty simple stuff. So what I'm gonna do here, just because I like to do sequentially, and also I wanna think about animation, which we are doing specifically tomorrow, but I wanna set ourselves up for success for tomorrow, okay? Amanda, I'm glad that you guys are saying that this is cool. And for those of you guys on YouTube, come join us. Look, listen, let's pause really quick. Come listen. Come to Adobe, or excuse me, come to Behance. Come join us here, where the cool kids are at. All right, guys? All right, back to what we're working on. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I am going to pull this down, and I'm gonna just turn the opacity down just a little bit. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to pull the logo up just a little bit. I'm gonna pull it up here, and I'm gonna scale it down, the whole thing. Whoops. For some reason, it doesn't wanna. All right, we're gonna fix this in post. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna ungroup all of this. Actually, we have an easier way to do this. So I have a smaller logo proportionally to size, and I'm just gonna pull that onto the screen just like this. We'll figure out when we get to animation, we'll worry about that tomorrow. But all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this right here. I'm gonna type out login just like this. And for whatever reason that was, it decided to, there we go. Boom, login. I'm gonna go over back to my assets panel, and I'm going to click on my title. Here we go, boom, just like that. I don't have to, that's what I like, because a lot of individuals, including myself, it's challenging to remember like your style sheet basically. All, what are the pixel sizes we're using, what are the colors, all that stuff. We don't need to memorize all that stuff anymore with the assets and the character styles. The shades are back, excellence, 100%. All right, so we have our login. We need to now just bring in some of our input buttons here. So what I'm gonna do here is I am going to pull in a couple assets first. Dun, dun. I'm gonna pull in our forgot password, and let's see. We have our social medias. I'm also gonna show you guys how to make this. And if you guys have any questions, it's pretty simple. But I just want to drag everything out onto the screen, and if you guys have any questions, just put it in the chat. Brandon, can you break this down? I will 100% go into that. I'm just with a lot of the work that I see a lot of designers do and or working with clients, a lot of this stuff is already made, so it's just how can you organize it in your assets panel to then bring into other projects of yours dealing with that client or working with them. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to press, we have our login button, and what I'm going to do with this is I am just going to duplicate it. I am going to ungroup it because we're going to create something that's not that component. I'm going to turn the opacity of this down to 30. That's our sweet spot. And we're just going to I'm going to group this, and we're going to pull this in here. And now what we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and write. Oh, thank you, Tim. The glasses were still on. But we're just that cool, guys. We had to keep the glasses on. All right, so user email address or rather user name, email, and password. We have to make these first. And we also want to make sure that we have the correct size and color for inside the input field. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our character styles, and we're going to find the correct sizing of our input fields. We're going to start with this login. Or actually, I just want to make sure that is the correct thing. Add assets. There we go. Okay, I have the correct one now. I don't think I saved that one. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this. What I just did there is I clicked on what we're trying to create, right-clicked it, create the, let me just show you again if you guys missed that, because I did that a little quickly. So I clicked on this. I want this to be in my assets panel. I right-clicked it, and I did add character style in assets. Right now it says reveal character and style in assets, and that's only because I've already done that. And it shows me Montserrat 14 points, and we're good to go. All right, so I'm just gonna go back on over to here. We're gonna type in here, we're gonna do username / email, as I believe that is what it was. Username / email. Yes, we're just gonna lowercase this. And all we're gonna do here is we are going to group this and just duplicate this. There's a couple ways you can do this. You can do repeat grid. However, this is what I dig doing. Next section, we have password. Boom. We have people in the chat saying the glasses were cool. Granted, I think I probably need to put the glasses back on because the lights are starting to get to my eyes. All right. So now we have our forgot password. I did have this as a component, but again, we do have this, like if I were to type anything else, for example, I just type out anything like this. As an example, I do have this in my assets panel where I have the forgot password, etc. If I just click it, it underlines it, it brings it down to the font size. Like, the reason I keep saying this, guys, is because it's super important in terms of making everything quicker. Especially if you're working on reoccurring projects with the same assets, like this is something you definitely should be aware of. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna get rid of this. We're gonna pull this down, turn the opacity down, again, for animation's sake, and you guys will see a little bit of that tomorrow. We're gonna do the same, I'm gonna actually undo that. I'm gonna select all of this, pull this down, then turn the opacity down. Cool. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna just pull this down, and let's see, what we still need is, we have our username, email, password in the chat. Oh God, I love you guys. You're like, put the glasses back on. I dig it. We'll see. We'll have a little bit more time for some glasses, guys. I love that you guys are digging this. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create this little portion here, this or. Now granted, I already have it as a component. Again, this is why working in a team is so awesome. I already have this, but just to break it down for you guys how it's made, because it is super simple, everything is just white. So what is done here is I'm gonna just ungroup this just for the sake of explaining how this is built. We have a circle, and it is, actually we're gonna remake it so you guys can see this, because I did make it a little bit different. So I'm gonna draw out a circle here. I'm gonna take the fill off, turn the border white, and what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna make it a little thick with an extra K, all right? Turn the opacity down to about 50 for the circle. Bring it down just a little bit, boom. Now I'm gonna go ahead and press L on the keyboard. I'm going to make 2 lines, turn the size up to 2, make it white. And now what we're gonna do here, something a little differente, all right? Is we are going to bring not the opacity down yet. We're actually gonna go into making a rectangle because we want to have a linear gradient. So we're gonna turn the border off here. I'm gonna squeeze this in just a little bit. Instead of solid color, we're gonna go to linear gradient, and we are gonna pull these one side to the other side. We're gonna make sure they're both white, all right? Boom, boom. And now what I want is one side, the outer side, this one, we're just gonna turn the opacity all the way down, just like that, so we get that nice little gradient. And now what I'm gonna do here is I'm actually going to take this color, oops, and we're actually gonna turn the opacity up on this one. Border, we don't need the fill. Boom, boom. There you go, just like that. And I'm just gonna duplicate this. Control C, Control V. I'm gonna flip it here, and I'm just gonna drag it to the other side. Just like that. We got a nice little gradient on either side. Now all we have to do is put in or, just like that. Pull this on over, make sure it's in there. I'm gonna just drag this in here. Now I do want to scale this a little bit up to at least 12 points. And from there, I'm just gonna scale this circle just up just a little bit, just so we have some room in there. Center it together, and ta-da! Y'all feel me? Y'all feel that? Y'all feel that? There we go. All right, so all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna group this 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. Perfect. And I'm gonna pull these up, just like that. Now, of course, this looks a tad big, so I'm actually gonna bring it down just a little bit, just so we can have some breathing room. But yeah, guys, anytime you want me to focus on a little bit of a singular component, feel free to let me know in the chat. All right, so we're looking pretty good. We have our login or our social channels here. Kyle Max says boom, Ahmed says cool, and says wow. And then Tim says JJ Brandon. All right, so next we have a little bit. We need to add a little bit more space here, and we also need to add our little portion here, which I'm calling a footer, but technically isn't one. And the reason that we want to have this here is because if someone taps into login, we don't want them to have to go back to the home screen, click sign up just to become a new user. So if they accidentally click login, we want to give them another option to go to the sign up. So very simply, I think I'm just gonna copy and paste this. That's nothing too complex there. So I'm just gonna bring it in just like this. And I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling some of this stuff down to separate it from the login portion. We have people in the chat saying the tie is winning. This is the Brandon Groce tie. Know it. Thank you guys for the compliments. All right, now we have this. It's pretty good. We're in pretty good shape here. What I'm going to do now, so I'm gonna just pull this up just a little bit. I'm gonna duplicate this one more time. I'll hold Alt, drag it. Now we're gonna type in new user. And we're gonna get into a little bit, we'll do this when we're done with the login flow. Okay, the login new user flow, because I want to show you guys something. All right, so we need a few things, a little bit more for the new user. Let's take a look what we need. We need our username, we need our email, password, date of birth, because you know there's certain games. There's certain games that you know you need to have date of birth. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 fields, and then terms and conditions. All right, super simple. So all we're gonna do here is we are going to just pull this off of the screen. We're gonna need this later because this is the same exact styling in which the wording for terms of service was in. So we're gonna just pull this off for now. We're gonna pull this off for now. We're just gonna make ourselves some space. We're gonna pull the password down, keep the same spacing in between each of those elements. I'm gonna put in, I think these guys separated them out. So we're gonna go username, email. We have people in the chat for video games. We just put 111. I do the same. Email address and password. Perfecte. All right, guys, 1 second. All right, we're back. We're back. Okay, I don't know why we're getting attacked with like random lag spikes, guys. That's really interesting. I apologize because that's it was walking on the cables. Okay, thanks, Tim. Yeah, I've had no internet problems today. I don't even think I have internet problems. But cool, we're back. All right, thank you guys for hanging in there. You guys are the crew. I appreciate you. All right, so let's see. Back to the date of birth. If you guys want me to get into this, I totally can. But basically, all it is again another pill, and we have some arrow icons here that we basically we can grab them from our plugins here. We just have to go to arrows. And we have tons of arrows to choose from. Okay, I had to check my video was buffering a little bit. I was like, whoa, I need to check YouTube. All right, so let's move past this just a little bit. Let's see what we have. Boom, boom, boom. We need our terms and service. So we're gonna go and we're gonna bring back our forgot password, and we're just gonna do terms and service. But what were the words that we need? We need, I read all terms and conditions. Are we still having lag issues, guys? It's stop go? That's not fun, guys. I really apologize. On my end, it says we have, 4K kilobytes. We're at 30 FPS. It's just like random spikes. Jay says it's better now. Thank you guys. See, you guys are the crew. When things get rough, y'all are the ones that have my back. Y'all know I have your back too. So thank you for staying with us. Thank you for, just having that hunger of learning, because that's what we're here for. All right, so now we're just gonna go ahead and we are going to go back to our assets panel here, and we are going to pull in our login footer just like this. We're basically just swap them out. So we're gonna pull this in. We're gonna delete our sign up one, and we are going to center this baby. Perfect. Now, for those of you guys, if you guys want me to pause at the date and birth, we're gonna keep moving, but if you guys want me to break that down, it's super simple. It's literally just built off of text boxes with numbers. We have our icons here. We have the same base button, and we just have dividers that are, again, orange. We're all well trained to streaming issues since we're mostly working from home. I appreciate that. That warms my heart, guys. Y'all got me out here just crying. I love you so much. but thank you. All right, let's continue, guys. Let's keep working. All right, so now we have our login button that we need to pull in, or not our login. This needs to be sign up. So I'm gonna just drag everything up just a tad bit, just so we have some room here. All right, and instead of login, we're gonna do sign up. Perfect. And there we go. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna delete this thing here. Now, one thing I wanna show you guys, this is brand new from Adobe XD. If I go to prototype and I click this as my home, what happens here, it now shows me flow 1. And so granted, I can pick up flow 1 and move it. So anything that I actually, because this is the sign up flow, let's say if I just do a really quick mock-up, this isn't the real mock-up, right? But if I decide to, attach this screen to this screen and attach this screen to this screen, right? What I can do now is I can click on flow 1, I can name it whatever I want. I can name it login and sign up flow. And now anytime that I need to take that flow specifically and just move it around in Adobe XD, I have it, which is awesome. I'm just gonna undo all of this because we are gonna get into that tomorrow in how we flow things. And we might even have time for it today. Raju is asking, hey Brandon, how do you get inspiration, especially when starting design? That is a classic and great question. I'm somebody that likes to watch a lot. So I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of the future. I love watching other designers on Adobe Live because people are like mixers. We're really good at combining things and making it our own, and watching other people do that helps you understand the capabilities of creativity and seeing how they process things and how you can process things or create things rather. That's what I mean by processing. It's just really interesting. I get a lot of my ideas from seeing how other people work, which is why you guys are here. You guys are doing the same thing. So I hope I'm giving you guys something to be inspired by. All right, so let's move on to our next portion. We're going to be putting together probably the screen that's going to take the most time here. We're at 11 o'clock. We still have an hour. So we're making good time, guys. Excellence has like the future raised hands. Most definitely. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna press A on my keyboard. I'm gonna go back to design, press A. I'm gonna get another iPhone X, boom, and I'm gonna just pull it down here. And because this is another flow, I'm going to hit this home thing, and I'm just going to say dashboard. Or in-app. And we'll figure it out from there. Okay, so first things first, I'm gonna go back to design. Because this is a little bit different. We're not dealing with gradients, we're dealing with dark colors, as you guys can see. A little bit of gray. And I already do have this color in my swatches. So all I'm gonna do is I'm going to go over to my background here. And there's multiple ways you can do this. I'm just gonna go and click that, just so we have some background color. We put some paint on the canvas to begin. You guys feel me? All right, let's see. So next we need our, first off, I forgot something hugely important. In all applications, we do have a status bar. I did forget to pull that in. You can easily grab this from any, from any iOS development UI kit. So I'm just gonna go ahead and center this baby. And I believe that and guys, a lot of people, I feel like a lot of designers felt that they need to memorize every detail of how things need to be organized, etc. Guys, this is what the internet is for. This is why, half our job is, more than half our job is Googling. There's no need to hold in a whole bunch of rules and regulations in our brain. We just need to focus our time solving clients or whoever's problems we're working on, and use Google to help us along the way in solving those creative problems. So for example, status bar, you have 34 pixels on the left and you have 14 pixels on the right. So I'm actually just gonna copy this from my earlier version, and I'm going to pull that into, just so I don't have to deal with, shifting everything. I'm just gonna paste this just how it was pulled from the iOS kit. Again, doing processes, my whole goal every time I'm on live with you guys is I'm not the smartest guy ever. 90% of what I do is Googling. And if I can find something or a process that allows me to work a little bit more efficiently without having to memorize things, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So I'm just gonna pull this all across our screens here, in addition to what we have here. Perfect. All right, so next, I already have the navigation built in. Again, guys, the navigation is not even that challenging, or the top nav rather, is not challenging to make. A lot of this I made simply by using the Adobe XD plugins here. we have people in the chat. Google is my friend, YouTube is my teacher, Stack Overflow, the genius kid in class who bullies me for not knowing stuff. Well, hey, those are all resources we can use to benefit our work. I think that's what makes work today, or creatives today, or people who make things today. It's the barrier to entry is much lower now, and you can just Google something and start building. Trust me, I'm definitely a beneficiary of all of that. So these icons that I have here, this feed title, in addition to these icons here, they can all be found within Icons for Design plugin. Again, this is why I love this plugin. I don't have to leave. I literally can just drag and drop menus, drag and drop search icons and bells. There's no reason to go to Google on this one. All right, so that's pretty simple there. Let's see, what are we building next? All right, this portion next, we have our backsplash. We're going to draw a rectangle, and we are going to create these small story assets like we have, or as you've seen in Instagram. Cool, so I'm going to just I'm going to press R on my keyboard. I'm going to drag out a rectangle here. I'm going to go to, and turn off the border. I'm going to go in here, and I already have the color saved. Again, working smarter, not harder. And I am now going to go to my assets panel. I'm glad you guys are in agreement with all this stuff. All right, so I'm going to pull out, I have my assets here. I'm going to show you guys how I've made them. They're really simple. This portion, literally, it's just a circle with a plus icon. Not that challenging. Now I'm just going to type underneath a new story. And because I have the color of this, or really the fonts of this stored already in assets, boom, I click it in my assets panel, it already becomes the size, color, and the font that I need for this portion of what I'm trying to create here. So I'm just gonna go ahead, select these, I'm gonna group it, boom, just like that. I'm gonna center this here. I might move this up just a little bit, using my arrow keys there. Actually, I liked it when it had some space. For these portions here, this is super simple. I'm gonna just break this down for you guys. So it literally is a circle with a fill. And also, just to show you guys how this is made, because this is actually two circles. So we have a circle underneath with that fill that we have here. We have 4 different breakpoints of color. And this on top, which basically is, let me just show you guys. All right, so I'm gonna ungroup all of this. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so we have 2 circles. One the full size, the other one little bit smaller. I'm gonna center them together, boom, boom. And as you guys can see here, we have 4 options here. We have add, we have subtract, we have intersect, and we have exclude overlap. And all these different options get you different results, okay? Add obviously adds the two things together. That's not what we're looking to do. We're looking to either subtract and or exclude overlap. So I'm just gonna do subtract, so it takes that circle on top and really just punches a hole. I didn't mean to clap in the microphone, so I'm sorry for everybody's ears. So it's pretty simple stuff. And then all you gotta do after that is just put a circle inside. Simple enough? Gotcha, cool. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull these in, and I'm just gonna make a couple of them. So I'm going to, before I actually start putting titles and stuff, I wanna make sure everything is at least lined up here. So I'm gonna just hit repeat grid here. I'm gonna make a couple, I'm gonna make 3. I'm gonna ungroup all of that. Now I wanna make sure that all of this is at least semi, oops, why did I do that? Boom, boom, boom. I wanna make sure all of the, the spacing between each one of these is fine, and I'm gonna just add one of these. So I'm just gonna pull this in, make sure it is centered with all these, and the spacing is good, and that we have everything centered here. Boom, boom, boom. There we go, everything's aligned. Perfect. Now I can go ahead and type new story. Boom, I'm gonna go back to my assets panel. I'm going to click my new stories assets thing so I get the correct sizing. And now I'm gonna do here is I am just going to duplicate all this. Now granted, a lot of you guys will be like, Brandon, do the repeat grid, just drag these babies out and then fix it later. 100% I can do that. It's a little bit, because I like to do this and then I ungroup everything and then I have to go back and, change all these, recenter it. Boom, Bill. So we're just putting people's names here. Sarah. Yes, excellent. We are about to do a scroll group. You just out here telling the future. Yes, we are going to do a scroll group, my good miss. And we'll just do Tom here. There we go. Now, just like Excellent said in the chat, what we can do here is we're gonna go ahead and group all of these babies, just like so. And again, I'm gonna show you guys this now just because it's relevant. But tomorrow we're gonna focus a little bit more, we're gonna spend a little bit more time on this. Because a lot more things use this feature, especially when we're gonna get into the animation and prototyping tomorrow. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to select my group and I'm going to click on horizontal scroll. And what this does is, when I play my prototype here, I can actually move this horizontally, left and right, rather than before you might have had created 2 screens and kind of mimic it. But now you can do everything on one screen. You can have the left to right horizontal scroll, perfect. And let's say if I made this even longer, let's say if I just clicked on this, and just duplicated it. Boom. Now we have a super long, I can just continue, right? Now I can pull all of that stuff in there. So that's really cool. A little tidbit for y'all. Thank you, Excellence. Y'all should give like claps in the Sorry, Excellent. I didn't mean it like that. We've just been talking so long and there's so many people in the chat. I got I think it's because I was like Amy, Bill, Sarah, Tim, and then the next one should have been like a girl name and my brain just popped. Sorry, Excellence. Kyle's asking, what kind of design do you guys do? All right, cool. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next portion here. So now we're gonna move on to we're gonna add our little title and our little switch here for what's fire in the feed. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is I already do have, let's see, we're gonna type feed. I already do have, again, you guys are gonna be like, Brandon is the master of just character styles, because it just saves time. I don't have to go and fiddle with settings in the right-hand column. All I have to do is find my title styles, boom, boom, there you go. And now I'm going to pull in my little fire, assets here. Thank you, I appreciate that, Excellence, my dog. All right, let me see. We are in. Dun, dun. We are in the feed. We need our little fire hot on. Now tomorrow, as we get into more prototyping and animating, I will show you guys specifically what I do and how we can turn this on and off and make it so that that gradient goes away and the fire turns off and all that good stuff. All right, there was a question in chat earlier, how do you get inspired? And a lot of people, I feel like a lot of designers, they work off of their mind. It's really challenging for me to do that. Even when I'm here live with you, I'm always going back and forth. It's like reference. I was an artist first, and I don't like at all to try to do things from my head. So I always try to, when possible, have reference, because drawing things from memory, whether it's like a real human being, a hand, etc., when you're getting close to, when you're drawing a hand, right? I mean, it takes years of practice to draw a hand from memory. If you can do it day one, more power to you. But for me in particular, and for those of you guys who might feel, what is the word? It's not subconscious, but like self-conscious about like, oh, I don't want to copy, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, I don't want to steal, or what some people might coin it. Really looking at other people's work to understand how things were done, or even if it's your own work. I made this week, and to be able to break it down for you guys in the way that helps you the most, I'm using it as reference to rebuild it. So there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I just wanted to, a lot of my students, they think that that's somehow cheating, using reference. Okay. Next, we are going to get our, Excellence is saying, imposter syndrome 100%. And I feel like it comes from that. Thinking that it's one should not, I guess, take or be inspired by somebody else's work. Okay, so next what we are going to do is, again, I'm using a lot of the assets because this stuff is simple. I really want to bypass, you guys don't have to see me draw circles. It's super simple. You press E and you pull, and then you just manipulate that. But if you guys want to see that, just please pause me. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead, we have our nameplate here. We're gonna go ahead and pull in our base card. And we also need to change the background here because we start getting into some darker territory. So what I'm gonna go and do here, I believe that we need to create a little bit of a darker portion here. So I'm gonna draw a fairly large rectangle. I'm gonna fill the entire space that we need here. I'm going to turn off the border here. I'm going to center this, pull this up just a little bit, right up to this line here. And I'm going to go into my fill and I'm going to select this dark color. And I'm going to send it to the back by hitting Control Shift and then left bracket. There we go. And something looks a little bit off to me. Let me see. We have 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I'm gonna pull this in just a little bit. And now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I want a little bit of a rectangle. I wanna put a rectangle inside. So this is what we're gonna be creating. I'm not gonna just slap this here for you guys, but this is what we need. So I'm just gonna draw my rectangle, put it in, make sure it's centered here. I'm gonna go to my radius. Let's just see what radius this is. We have 15. And just type this in here, 1.5, hit enter, boom. We don't need to worry about the color of this just yet. For some reason, I can't just drag it into horizontal center, so I'm just gonna right click the base card and this and just hit my horizontal align mid here. So next, I'm just gonna type out hot. Again, this is where assets, or rather the character styles come in, boom. Pull this in here. I'm going to type The Last of Us Part 2. And this is a pretty simple thing. Again, I'm just gonna double check because I'm not entirely sure I added this to the character style asset. So I'm just gonna click this here, boom. It immediately pops up here, and all I have to do is click this, the font that I want to change into this. Months are at 20 pixels, boom, there we go. Kyle says you have to break things down and create from that. Nothing out there is original, so we have to gather from many sources. Love it. Right, nail on the head right there. Excellent says also doing history into things that is a big word to what you're designing is a good way to get deep meanings in your designs, e.g. designing for a family company. Maybe look into their original hometown. Exactly. Adrian says right here, folks, 90% of your design's career is trying to align things. Pretty much. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to do, I really don't feel like, this is really simple. This bar, guys, it's literally just a rectangle. Boom, boom, boom. Turn the border off. Make sure, let's see, what is the height of this? We have 4 pixels. We'll make sure instead of 5, we have 4. Boom, we're gonna just turn the radius all the way up so we have those nice rounded corners, and we're gonna turn this down to like 30 pixels. Boom. And we're just gonna duplicate it, Control C, Control V, and we're gonna pull this down just a little bit, and we're gonna turn the opacity all the way up, go to the fill, go to the linear gradient, and we're just gonna move one side to one side and the other side to the other side. And we're just gonna use our colors. We're gonna click on the white, we're gonna make it yellow, and we're gonna click on the other side, make it orange. Ta-dow, okay? I'm gonna group this, and we are going to align it to the center of my card here. Simple stuff, right guys? We're gonna pull this down just a tad bit. There we go. I don't know if I liked it with the space, but we'll figure that out later. And I think we're just gonna do the 8.9. Cool. All right, so that is our section number 1. I do want to check on something because, there we go. We'll pull that down just a little bit, pull this up. And I think what I might do, actually, we will forego that. All right, next, we have our next section. We're gonna pull this menu off to the side. We have our social stats right here. Again, super simple stuff. It really is all about, using the assets within Adobe XD. Hold on, let me pull that off, boom. All right. What I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna show you guys how this is made again. It's not super difficult stuff here. All it is text box. And for those of you guys who chimed in, maybe just a little bit late, we have icons for design. I simply can just type in heart, enter. I have a whole bunch of hearts that I can use, I can pull in. So we have boom, I can type in chat. And we have some chat icons here. I can pull any one of these to be involved in whatever it is I'm making. I can also type in share, and same thing. I have a whole bunch of icons that I can use in my design and just put a number to it. All right, but let's focus. Let's do a time check here. We have about 30 minutes left. So let's get past this, because I really want to, a lot of what we're gonna do tomorrow is predicated on us finishing this page. So let's not let you down. All right, so let's go. We have another portion. We need a video, we need a divider. So boom, video, we have a chat, and then we have a gallery. All right, let's get that started. So I am just going to go into my divider here. I'm gonna take this, copy, come down here, paste. Now something is a little strange to me. I need like darker dividers. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to redraw them. Rather, I'm just going to just use L, pull them across. Make it light, click on it. I want to make sure that it's 2. So I'm going to click 2, enter, boom, and now I'm just going to turn this down to 30. 30, I can just hit 3 on my keyboard too to automatically make it go to 30. So I'm going to click that. I am going to pull this up here to start dividing, and I'm just going to replace these older dividers because for whatever reason it says it's 100%, but it doesn't look like 100%. All right, we're going to close that. We're just going to duplicate this. Just pop that right there. Boom, boom, boom. All right, moving on. So I'm just gonna take this, I'm gonna duplicate it, bring it down here. I'm gonna use the same spacing that we did up top as per this. Now for our video, what we're gonna do, again, we're gonna pull in our base card, super simple. Make sure this is centered. And now I do have, I do have a photo that I wanna use inside this video card in addition to my play button asset, which is super simple. All I'm gonna need to do, and guys, granted, I want to show you guys how I did this. So I can go, let's see, this is another really cool thing in Adobe XD where if I have photos, I can just simply take any photo in a folder, drag it right in, boom, there we go. There's probably a better quality photo, so I'm gonna pull this one. There you go. Fall Guys. In the chat, has anybody played Fall Guys? And if so, do you dig it? All right, I'm gonna just align my little overlay thing. It has the same exact, it's basically the base layer that I've used here, except with very low opacity. So I'm gonna pull this right on top, and very simply, I can just click both, horizontal align, vertical align. And then just pull this back to the center here. Boom, and pull my asset right over top, align it center and horizontally, and there we go. Again, this is very simple. It's a circle and an asset from Icons for Design plugin. And from here, all we have to do next is to duplicate our social medias. I'm gonna take the same, we have 20 pixels on top. We wanna do the same thing here. There we go, perfect. We're gonna take another divider, we're gonna copy it holding Alt, making sure that we're using the same spacing from the social that we did up here. So we have 26 pixels, and now we need a text version, and then we have to get to our galleries. All right, boom, boom. I can very simply, and again, we're gonna use I already have this as an asset piece. This is a quote. Let's take that out. Boom, we have this we can use as our little quote. We can pull this in, make sure it's centered. Again, we want to be consistent with our pixels. So we have 26 pixels, then content. We have 15 pixels. Okay, so we want to pull this up just a little bit. All right, so I need to group all of this. I'm gonna push this up so that we have 15 pixels from the top. And just double checking 20 pixels from the bottom. We're gonna push it down by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 26 pixels. And guys, I already forgot who said it in the chat, but most of our time is aligning, making things so that they are perfect. Boom. And then I think 15 pixels from the top. Boom. All right, cool. Just duplicating our social things here. There we go. And then pulling our divider, and then we just have one more. We have one more thing. Our gallery. And then I'll show you guys how quickly we can simply just fill in all these empty spaces. It's the simplest thing in the world. Let's see, just doing a time check. We have about 25 minutes here. Sean says, no, that's for special occasions. This isn't, Sean, this is special. Tim, this is special. Why not just add the fill over and drag the opacity down? Patience is key, like Monica said. Thank you, Monica. All right, I'm gonna continue to drag this down. And for those of you guys who have multiple different ways of doing things, 100%, you can do exactly what I'm doing in multiple ways. I'm just working in the workflow that I'm very familiar with, and that where I don't stumble. I think everybody has a very unique way of working, different keyboard shortcuts that, you know, they're so used to. Like, I press buttons on my keyboard that, you know, I don't even have to think. We all have neural pathways that we've built over time, whether, you know, regardless of what we're doing. For writing, you know, the way that we hold our pencil is different than everybody else's. Okay, so there we go. All right, we're back. We are back. Thank you guys. That's the third strike today. Man, it's gonna be very special. Y'all just mean so much to me because y'all sustain. Y'all believe in Adobe Live. You believe in Brandon Groce. Thank you so much for your kindness. All right, guys. Like I said before, we have very short time. Let's continue. So we have our gallery, and that is really it. So, like I said, I really appreciate you guys. We're gonna close this out really quick. We're just gonna pull in. You guys are mentioning about the Minecraft comment. Love it. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna pull in the iPhone swipe up little bar here, and we are done with this page. All we have to do is we need to fill out some of these, some of these pictures here. So one of the favorite plugins of mine, another one, it saves a lot of time. It is called User Profile. And I simply can just click any blank shape, etc. I can click User Profile and I can fill with User Image. Boom. So I have one. It's so easy. I don't have to look for images. It's all auto done. Click on the shape, fill with User Image, and this is called User Profiles, guys. Boom, and boom. Do one more. Awesome. So we filled all of our user profiles in just seconds there. Usually some people have to go find files. They gotta, make it diverse. User Profiles does it tremendously, saves a whole bunch of time. Now I already do have images for our Last of Us, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this in, drop the file in there, and I can just simply crop it by double clicking in and making it show what I want. There's still a little border there, so I'm gonna just pull that out. I'm gonna click our circle here, go back to User Profiles. Boom. There we go, we have a new user, Natalie. Let me just change this, we're gonna go to Tom. Fill image, boom. Fill image. I'm gonna type in Sarah. Make sure you line the fire icon. Yes, Adrian, we got you. We'll get there. We will get there. And if not today, we will get there. All right, and we're gonna do one more. Boom. And we have one more. Perfect. Perfect. And we're just gonna change this to gallery. A message. And share the game. Or we can type, share the video. Hey, Kendia, welcome. Good to see you, and glad that you're here. And Adrian's like, don't mess with our OCD. Trust me, that's why you guys are here. You guys are to keep me in check, and I love it. All right, finally, let's get this gallery filled up here, okay? Simple as a few things. What we're gonna just do is we're gonna just grab our assets here, and we're just gonna pull them on into our little boxes here. So I'm actually gonna replace that. We're gonna push this in, put that in. And this is one of my favorite things with Adobe XD. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I'm gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm doing here. So I'm actually going to take this photo out of this. Oops. I'm actually gonna make it a fill. I'm gonna double click this. I'm gonna pull it over top of this. And I'm gonna turn the opacity down just a little bit. And I am going to make it go back. Just so that 6 can stick out. Cool? All right, we're coming back. We're coming back. Yeah, guys, I don't know what that is. I really do apologize. That's number 4 for me. Okay. It's also really distracting for me because it's like, oh God, you know, that's not something that should be happening. All right, we have about a good amount of time to showcase one of the new features where we don't really have to have like long pages like this. Like for example, just to save time, we have our menu here, and what I'm gonna do here is we don't need to recreate this. It's literally 5 icons, and we have our little, we have our swipe up bar, and I will show you guys something that is really nice to have in Adobe XD. But really quickly, I'm just gonna open up a new thing here. Let's see, width, height, 812. What I'm gonna do here is I'm actually going to, I'm gonna bring this down here really quick. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna pull this off really for a quick second. I'm going to take this rectangle here. I'm gonna push it right under this little divider here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to group this entire section down here. Actually, I'm gonna leave that little portion out. I'm gonna group it, make sure it's one piece. I'm gonna bring my little menu button here, or my menu here. I'm gonna center it. And I'm actually gonna duplicate this just for the sake of not messing anything up. I am going to change the height of this to 812. I'm going to bring this to the bottom of the screen. And what I can do, this entire group that I just made, instead of having that long scroll like we used to have to do, where we could literally just, we could, put this at the bottom here. And all we really had to do was click on that, make sure that we fix position when scrolling, and we can just scroll up and down. That's still, we still can do that. But there's another option where we can have just this, and we can take this group that we have, we can then go to vertical scroll, we can click this, and I'm just gonna drag this from here to all the way to the bottom. I'm gonna make sure that this is fixed. I'm gonna play this, and I actually I can scroll this, which is much more efficient because now I can have some fixed things here. So that's one of the new features in Adobe XD. I can keep this stuff fixed while I scroll through my feed. I can also, if I really wanted to, I can add this to that grouped, that group that scrolls. So there's a whole bunch of things that you guys can do with this. So with that said, guys, we have about, we have about 5-ish minutes. What else can we do for tomorrow? Well, actually, I can let you guys know. I'm gonna actually pull this down. This is the version that I want us to continue with tomorrow. I'm gonna put this here. I'm just going to put this at dashboard, and we will move forward with this tomorrow in terms of prototyping and animating specifically tomorrow. I always like putting everything together today, and then the next day we do everything from prototyping, animating, and so on and so forth. We have Excellence in the chat saying mockup looks cool. Menu real quick. Yes, let's talk about the menu. Let's see what we can do in we have about we really have like 5 minutes, but let's see if I can break it down. So I'm just gonna ungroup everything. Really, it's just a circle with a linear gradient with, of course, my favorite colors. Whoops. Make that red. I'm gonna select the other one, make it yellow. And this is just an icon that I pulled from Icons for Design. And these ones I did find on the internet just because they were a little bit more stylistic. But really, all this is, just to break down the parts for you guys, we have a block that is the width of iPhone 10 rather. Hit enter, make sure the border is off. We have our saved color, which is that lightish gray. And all we did was we pulled, let's see what the size of this, 60. And for those of you guys who are curious to know like how I size things, how I shape things up, like how do I know what sizing and stuff to make, it goes back to my answer of how do I get inspiration. A lot of the time I like to go on Dribbble. I literally copy and paste onto my artboard work that I like, and I'm like, okay, they make their icons this size, they make their fonts this size, because I'm trying to mimic what I think is great. And I think, just in the short amount of time that we have here left, we have about 4 minutes now, I highly recommend to you guys, like, find work that you really like and want to eventually be doing, and literally just like practice recreating that stuff from scratch. Like, pull that into XD, literally bring that into an artboard. What is the sizing of their icons? What is the sizing of their fonts? What is their spacing? How do they do that? All that good stuff. That's really good practice. I have our I have our little iPhone swipe up thing here, and the rest of it is just our icons. I just pull them in, like if I were to boom, boom, boom. Whoops. 3, 4. I'm gonna alt drag these. So one question might be, well, how do you know, the spacing of everything, etc. All I do, like, even if everything is like, I drag everything unequivalently in the artboard, I just select all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I align vertically. I make sure that the spacing, the distribution horizontally is the same. And then I just group it and I bring it to the center of the artboard. Now, right here, it says that this is center. This is like where I don't have like a perfect science for you guys. This is where I literally move things around, where I ungroup everything, boom. This needs to be in the center that I know. And then I just play visually. XD helps with the math, but I also want to make sure that my icons, if this is 40 pixels away, then this needs to be 40 pixels away. We have 40, and then we have 40. So that's how I basically, Adobe XD, like, alignment helps to a degree, but then you have to eyeball stuff. So that's really just my, my short spiel on how the menu works. But we are about to end. We have, let's see, 50. We don't have that much time. And I want to give you guys a nice ending. I don't want to get cut off either. But I'm going to look at the chat. I'm going to answer some questions. So guys, if you have questions, please put them in the chat so we can take this time to answer any of those. But also, guys, before we let up here today, if you could do me a huge favor, I know there was a whole bunch of lag, a whole bunch of mishaps, but look, I want to thank you guys for really showing up today, having fun with me, and going through this amazing process. Tomorrow, we will be doing the prototype version and also animating what we have here tomorrow. So don't forget to come. But let's take a look at the chat really quick. How do you erase colors saved to the fill menu? It's a great question. So if we were to, I'm gonna go back. If I want to, let's say I have, my square here, and I have it yellow. All you have to do, like in this fill, all I have to do is just drag them out, and they're gone. and I'm just going to Control Z that. It's pretty simple. Any color I don't want, I just literally drag it out, okay, to answer that question. Let's see, what other questions we got? Last 5 minutes singing final countdown. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. Gotta get those reading glasses on, 100%. Ariana is saying, so I need that tie, 100%. I should do an affiliate code. Oh, nice pillow, by the way. All right, guys. So this is it. Guys, I'm going to sign off here. With that said, thank you guys so much. I'll take the glasses off, but I appreciate you guys. I want to say thank you guys for coming to this episode or segment of Adobe Live, getting started with Adobe XD with your boy Brandon Groce. If you guys want more amazing tutorials or to hang out more with me, on the sidebar, go and follow me on my own Behance. I do live streams every Friday. We have an amazing guest this Friday, and we have one each week. So with that said, if you want more awesomeness outside of Adobe Live, come and follow me. I'm on Instagram at Brandon Groce and on Behance. But other than that, guys, please come again tomorrow, same time, same place. We're going to be prototyping and animating this baby. So with that said, guys, I want to thank Kyle, Ariana, Rose, Excellence, Alexander, Sean, Jay, Tim, Ross. I'm going to thank you guys and so many more. There's around 500 plus of you, 600 of you guys watching live. So thank you guys so much. I'll chat to you later. Don't forget to appreciate and like this video, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time. Peace, guys.